So starting inside the box, we have Zammed, a title that I'm not really quite sure what to think about. There's only these two collections. There may be a complete collection version, although this one's dubbed. Not all Sentai Filmworks releases are, especially the older ones, and I couldn't remember how old this one was. Anyways, I watched the first disc, and I have a vague idea of what it was about. A guy transforming into this thing, but I don't remember what all happened, the relevance of stuff or whatever, but the basic idea was, well, okay, I never watched the second half, so I don't know. I don't have a complete picture. I just remember it reminding me of Udeka 7. I don't know. Hell Girl. I've shown this release before. It's actually a very interesting release because the first one, these 6 individuals release version, this was released by Funimation. And of course it also has a dub. And the reason that's kind of noteworthy is because the second and third seasons were not released by Funimation and don't have dubs. Although, honestly, I think stopping at the first one is kind of unfortunate because the other two seem pretty worthwhile to watch. The basic story of Hell Girl is that the titular character, Hell Girl, she runs something called the Hell Correspondence, or maybe she doesn't run it. She kind of is the leader at it, kind of. The basic idea is somebody wants, is it revenge? I can't remember the exact word. It's somebody has a grievance, and she can send somebody straight to hell right then and there, and that person will be cursed for life, and when they die, will end up going to hell. That's what the curse is, not other miscellaneous bad things happening, like what I said implied. Anyways, the basic idea is the series is a series of stories where a character gets driven to some sort of desperation point where they summon Hell Girl's services, basically. Which, in my opinion, I'm not entirely sure why, but for some reason, it felt like the first season was kind of stressful to watch, even though it was interesting, but the second and third were not. This might mean that people with similar tastes to me may find the same thing watching it, and if you watch the first season, you may actually enjoy watching the second and third season. But it could also mean that people who have completely opposite tastes to me would not have that. Oh well. Anyways, next up is a really noteworthy release. It's an Outlaw Star. I remember I bought this one from Price for $70. I had to use cash and money from one bank account and money from another to do it. So it's a 3-volume release, but each volume has 2 discs in it. It's a nice compact release. It's a really great collection for a series that I actually really enjoy. I might rewatch that sometime soon now that I think about it. I'm not really sure. The basic idea of Outlaw Star is our main character. Let me set this down for a second. Our main character, Gene Starwind, he's an outlaw, which basically means that he's not associated with the pirates or the military, and they're kind of like guns for hire, sort of mercenaries, I suppose, jacks of all trades. He ends up in a special aircraft with a mysterious girl, chasing after, well, I guess I don't know if they are explicitly chasing after anything other than trying to understand the nature of the ship. Angel Links, though, is also worthy to mention when we talk about Outlaw Star because it takes place in the Outlaw Star universe. Basically, in one episode in here, there's a confrontation with a military base where the two people running the outpost, or the base. I don't remember which it was called. I don't know if military is the right word, but I do know that the two people running it, blonde-haired lady and dinosaur-like lizard man, they were running it, and they're actually characters in this anime instead of just in the one episode there. So they're connected in that way. But I never finished Angel Links, and I honestly don't remember exactly what it's about. I only know that Angel Links refers to the ship. And the other thing I was asked to show is Shukabane Hime, also known as Corpse Princess. Now the basic idea of this is corpses come back to life, and they're called Shikabane, and the main character is Shikabane Hime. She's a special Shikabane that's supposed to kill all the other ones. And our other main character is just an orphan kid trying to move out of his orphanage. And pretty much it seems to be about the intersection of what happens to them. It's intriguing. I've only just started watching it. But, I don't know. Anyways, that's actually all I was asked to show. But I'm going to pad it with a couple of things that are related to requests. Basically, this next series I'm showing because somebody asked for expensive series. Now, this isn't going to cover all of them. But the first DVD of this series cost me something like $150, $200 or something. I actually don't remember, but this is Haruka Beyond the Stream of Time, and I'll be honest, I don't know much about it. DVD 3 seemed pretty rare to get, but I joined a bid for it and got it for only $75, which is pretty cheap considering that I was willing to pay up to $500. I don't think anybody there was prepared to outbid me. Otherwise, I know Volume 1 never got stocked in Best Buy, and I was buying from Best Buy at that time. But I should have gone and got it online. If I'd kept up with this series then, I probably could have gotten it for a lot cheaper. Oh well, you just can't always predict what's going to be rare and not. This ends with Volume 9. And for the next one, well, let's cut to a news. Well, I was also asked to show Pokemon a couple weeks ago, and it's such a huge one that I've been waiting for a day like this to show it. And this also fulfills the request to show something expensive, since some of these Pokemon DVDs actually were pretty hard to get. Now, for starters, Season 1 was re-released in these 3 complete collections. Pretty cheap if I remember right. So they're pretty good. If anybody doesn't know what Pokemon's about, the basic idea is the word Pokemon is short for pocket monster. The basic idea is people catch Pokemon in things called Pokeballs, and they battle each other with them. But this Pokemon series is about our main character, Ash Ketchum, or I think his Japanese name is Satoshi, but if you got these DVDs, you should probably forget the name Satoshi because these are dub only. So you only have Ash. And the basic idea is, you have to also make friends and learn to live with your Pokemon. The episodes tend to be fairly repetitive. Ash has a big mouth. He says big things, but doesn't usually pull them off. There's parts in the series, though, where he does, and those are pretty cool. I think a funny image I saw called it Badass Mode. And on an episode-by-episode basis, the basic idea is there's a pair chasing after him trying to get his Pikachu. They're not particularly rare, but his seems to be powerful for some reason. And the pair chasing after him are Team Rocket. They always want to catch it. So an episode generally follows the format of they make an attempt to catch it, to fail. Then Ash and whatever friends he has in the region he's in discover something new about the specific area they're in that involves usually one specific kind or type of Pokemon. And then Team Rocket does something bigger, or there's some sort of natural disaster, and you know, they managed to help resolve it somehow. It's pretty formulaic. It's not necessarily a spectacular series, but at the same time, there's a lot of nostalgic value. Now, here is when the Johto stuff begins, and that's basically, that corresponds to Generation 2 Pokemon. So Generation 1 is basically the first group of games, the first 151 Pokemon they came out with. Then they came out with 100 more, and each time they come out with another group, that's a generation. So we have here Season 3, and as you can see, these DVDs are kind of interesting in that they alternate gold, silver. The other thing that's interesting to note about these is they are not... Season 3 has only been released in these individual forms. Viz did not release a complete collection version. I remember Flying Ace being hard to get, but I don't remember how much I paid for this. Maybe 100 or so. Firepower I think was only 100, although this was the last one I got. It took me a long time to get that one, it felt like. We've got the, I don't know, I've lost track of the count. But this one, now this is the most expensive individual DVD in my collection. Mostly because I guess there are crazy people like me out there willing to pay $500 for a DVD like this. But I was looking for the last two Azalea Adventures and Firepower that I showed before. I was looking for those for many months, and when a copy finally appeared and was within my price range for something I just had not seen for like the half year I'd been looking, well, bam, I had to place a purchase right then and there. This one has been a bit damaged, but oh well. All of them. Now, one unfortunate thing is Ursaring Rampage. The episodes it ends at, I guess it doesn't say on the back, but it looked like they were maybe planning on releasing one more volume with 2 more episodes from the 3rd season. They never did that, though. Season 4 comes in this really strange release and continues on in the 2nd generation stuff. And then Season 5 is kind of noteworthy from a price perspective, I guess. It costs like $100 to $150, which is probably a lot for somebody who doesn't have that kind of extra money to spend. But it's really not that expensive for old, sought-after, not often manufactured one. And Master Quest is noteworthy because this is the end of the 2nd gen stuff, and the 1st and 2nd gen really do they are very, very fluid, similar, the same. It basically, Ash's outfit stays the same. He still uses a lot of the same Pokemon, and his main traveling companions are for the most part Brock and Misty. Until the end of the 5th season, when they go on to 3rd generation stuff. Now, as you can see, it's beginning the 3rd generation. Brock's still with him. His outfit's completely different, and this time there's a new female character named May. I actually don't care too much about seeing the covers of these, but at this point, I don't think any of the remaining DVDs are really that expensive. So if you didn't want to, if you don't care to see Pokemon, I guess there's no reason to hang around. Can't think of anything special I would say other than once I get to the movies, I guess. But anyways, that's Season 6, the beginning of the 3rd generation / Hoenn stuff. 7th season is a bunch of individual volumes, 10 of them to be exact. And I think I only started on the 7th season before I lost my Pokemon watching energy. I've been watching a wide variety of stuff since then, but I have to come back eventually because I intend to catch up on this stuff. Season 8 is also a bunch of individuals. Advanced Challenge versus Advanced Battle. It can be really hard to tell which one's supposed to be which, so I'm trusting the order I have these in. If I have them backwards, well, okay, you shouldn't trust the video. You should look it up on bulbapedia.net if you absolutely need to tell the difference between Advanced Battle and Advanced Challenge, because there's always that possibility that I have them backwards. Battle Frontier, on the other hand, is definitely the 9th and final season of the 3rd gen / Hoenn stuff. It's in my Lodic on that 2nd disc. That's pretty cool. That's one reason I would like to get further in the Hoenn stuff. There's some neat 3rd gen Pokemon I doubt the anime did anything awesome with, but still like to see. As you can see, definitely some 4th gen Pokemon on the covers there. See, at the end of the generation in the anime, they start introducing Pokemon from the next generation. In this case, Season 10 begins the Diamond and Pearl stuff, 4th gen. As you can see, once again, Ash Ketchum has changed his outfit. And I don't think we can see on this box, but on the next one, we can see his new female traveling companion. And I do believe Brock is still with him. So the most interesting thing about... Oh look, there's Team Rocket. Wobbuffet's still around, that's nice. He's fun. One thing that's interesting about... So that was the 10th season, this is the 11th. One thing interesting about the 10th and 11th seasons is the way they're colored. And I'll show you a bit once I finish going through the 11th season. The 12th season, well, yeah, I guess I have to wait for that, but as you can see, there's just a ton of Pokemon DVDs. They're not in a very compact form. Most of them don't have box set versions because this isn't in that big of a deal to cater to that group of purchasers, I think. But as you can see, there's this nice color rainbow pattern going on here. The reason I talked about not caring so much about the 12th season is because, as you can see here, it just kind of seems to be doing something else. So let me put all of these away and we'll look at those. So season 12 is what's currently being released on DVD. I think the next 2 discs are released next month. Actually, I know they're not released this month because I took a look at everything that's expected to come out next week and already ordered them. Pre-ordered all of them. So, yeah, that's all that's been released, but there's only one more thing, I think, until we have all of season 12 out, and then I guess they start season 13, hopefully, which begins the 5th gen stuff. So, there's additional DVDs, of course. We have here Mewtwo Returns, which is a special that takes place sometime... I don't remember who, but this is a sequel to the first movie that I'll get to real quick. We have here Pikachu's Winter Vacation, which is just a couple of, a handful of things. It's not all of Pikachu's Winter Vacation, but it's all that was released as far as I know. So, I have the first 3 movies in this more compact form. As you can see when you look in, you've got a double-sided disc here and a single-sided disc here. So, the Pokemon movies are actually kind of entertaining to explore because some of them are, I thought, actually pretty good. Now, a lot of people very nostalgically remember the first movie. Rewatching it, it's kind of cool, but it's also very Pokemon. You know, I didn't feel like they were noteworthy until the second movie. third movie begins interesting, but it's pretty stereotypical for a Pokemon movie, I think. Pokemon Forever was, Pokemon Heroes, I thought was actually kind of intriguing, although it felt short. Wishmaker I didn't really care for either. Destiny Deoxys I didn't care for. Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, I didn't care for as much either. This one comes with another special, Mastermind of Mirage Pokemon. I really, really liked this one. Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. I think that's movie 9. And then movies 10, 11, and 12 tell one continuous 3-movie story, pretty much. Which, with each movie ending in a correct place, but the next one starting off where the previous one ended. And none of the other movies did that, so that's a very interesting thing. I guess you could say that's a testament to just how important they made the mythology in the Sinnoh region, which would be the 4th gen region. Anyways, that finally covers all of Pokemon. As you can see, it's a big task. Every once in a while I'm going to do it, especially if I get an additional one and I'm kind of curious about seeing DVDs next to each other or finding new interesting things to say. But let's end inside the box there.